Every once in a while, you need to be a 10-year-old boy and just set up your toy soldiers. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This is Paul Knapp coming to you once again from the Man Cave. And I was motivated this week by a YouTuber named Jerry Hagberg from Toy Soldier Nostalgia. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. And he was talking about being a 10-year-old kid again and just setting up his toy soldiers. And I thought, you know what? Why not do that? So let's get started. Well, like many of you, I don't have a lot of room in the Man Cave. This is just 2 folding tables. They are 6 foot long, put together are 5 foot wide. So that's my diorama area that I'm going to be working with. Of course, you got to start with some type of background. And this material here is called jersey material. What's nice about this is you don't have to iron it. It doesn't need iron, and it doesn't keep folds like regular material. As you can see here, you really have to iron this, and even after ironing it, you can still see the folds in it. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with that. But with the sky that I use, the background sky that I use, I always pin this up. I'll pin it up on the wall behind here. Again, it's called jersey material, and you can find that at any Hobby Lobby. And again, it's really nice. It's like rayon. It's like a t-shirt material, but doesn't need iron, so you won't see any folds in the skyline. So as for the base, again, this comes from Hobby Lobby. This is just a sand colored material, 2 pieces sewn together. And as you can see, it's kind of speckled, has some white, some tan and dark brown in there. So now it's time to decide what playset I'm going to put on this. So if you've been following my channel, you know I've been working on these playset boxes, and each of these boxes is filled with toy soldiers and diorama accessories. But the one I've been hoping to open up and get started on is that one right there. Battle of Kasserine Pass. Let's open it up and set up a diorama today. Okay, so we are back in the Man Cave, and as you can see, I have the backdrop pinned up, all looking good. Keep in mind, this is 2 of this blue jersey sewn together, so there is a seam right here, but it won't be that noticeable. And I can always put something in front of that when you're down low, cover up that seam. This is the Kasserine Pass box. This is one of the newer boxes that I had made, if you've been following my channel. And before we go and set everything up, I'm going to give you a little view of everything that's inside of it. A lot of the things I haven't even opened up yet from BMC and from some other vendors. So I'm going to show you everything that we're going to be putting into this diorama today, and give you a little inventory, maybe even get rid of some stuff. I'm not sure. I don't know how much is all going to fit on this table, but we're going to do our best here to set up a nice display for some photos. This first piece, I believe, is a TSSD destroyed tank position. And this next piece, I believe, was called the Desert Oasis. I'm pretty sure this was originally a CTS piece. Very nice. I never made a diorama with it, so looking forward to this setup. I know this top piece comes off. I guess you could have it separate or on top, either way. And my last large piece for this set is the Desert Outpost. This was originally Airfix. So I'm going to make some modifications to this. I never liked the fact that it had no base. We got to put a base to this house. And then I think I might repaint it, lighten it up maybe to look more like these. And then give it a base so we can put some furniture in there. Maybe have Rommel inside there. Now, the only other structure I have with this is the Marx reissue exploding building. I'm probably going to glue this together because I don't like how it always falls apart like that. I know it's supposed to, but I don't have the trigger mechanism. This is a reissue piece, so I'm not too worried about gluing that together. And then I'm going to paint these all to match, I believe, this. So we're going to go ahead and try to find some spray paint to match that. Probably repaint this again to match that. Also, that is an easy repaint. And we don't want a green tank, since all the Shermans I have are the brown or tannish color. So let's move on to the armory that I have. Starting off with the German armory. These are all CTS vehicles right here, painted in that camo color, which is nice. I'm not sure if you can get this anymore. I bought these years ago. I have another CTS. I painted this years ago to kind of match those as best I could. I have two more here from BMC, but they're CTS as well. So I'm going to paint those hopefully to match this. Also from BMC, they reissued the Marks 88 millimeter. So I have two here that I bought years ago that don't have the longer barrel. I'm going to have to make a longer barrel to match this one here. Now when you buy them now, they come with this already on it. So, and again, I'm hoping to paint all three of these to match the CTS ones. Now for my American vehicles, I'm pretty short. I got two Shermans. One needs painted. We have a half track. We have the armored car. I'm calling that we're giving that to the Brits, I think. Again, these three cannons came with the BMC pack of cannons. You can get them in this tan color to match. So we have the Marks reissue one and these two field cannons here. So we're going to have to hunt for some more American armory, I think, before we go into battle here. Okay, so I went to Lowe's, and I think this will do. It's fairly close to the foam. Not exactly, but it'll definitely tone down some of these vehicles, take the shine off of them, and definitely bring this to a more tan color. But before we paint this, we need to put a base on the bottom. And if you're cheap like me, and you need to use some type of plastic, well, go to Lowe's, get yourself a garage sale sign, which is plastic, and all I'm going to do is cut that to size and glue it on there and paint it. So I cut the base down, I glued it down, I did some sand and gravel in the corners, which is going to be painted over, but that filled in all the gaps and made it look desert outpost looking. I was able to remove the wheels and axles from these so I can paint all these the same color with the spray paint. I'm going to take that outside, do that today, and then finally I found some plastic tubing that I had that fit perfectly over the ends of these two howitzers. So I cut two pieces the exact length of that piece, and they will go on the ends of both of these. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do for the muzzle piece, but for right now, I'll be able to glue them together, put that on there, and at least paint them all the same color. Look a lot better than being a short little nub like that. Just want to show you the difference between the spray painted ones versus the non. Huge difference in color. Definitely nice and flat, not shiny. Gonna hit this with a second coat, but definitely like this color. And again, this is camouflage khaki, and that's only one coat right there, but it looks, probably hit it with a second coat just to be safe, but right now looks much better than this original mustard type color. So originally I said I was going to paint this all tan and repaint it. However, looking at it, I think it's done very well. The tank and the barrels and the tree. What I'm probably going to do is just paint the base of this, the sand, to match the base of this, and leave everything else the way it is. So this way it'll blend. Probably paint the sandbags to match those sandbags, and that'll be it. Okay, so as you can see here, I made a lot of progress this past week. I was able to finish the paint on all these vehicles and artillery. I glued in the figures, the CTS figures on the half track. Painted, highlighted, painted on a lot of things. Found a driver, put him in, put the seated Germans in, painted all the guns black, just a little highlights. Found these 3 planes, painted them tan, gave them a little camo, put some clear plastic on the front to look like they're flying. So now I'm working on the troops. We have everything from CTS here. Then again, these are all in tan. Just went through my collection. I think these are the troops that are going to go with this set. A lot of mark stuff here, Airfix. Trying to keep it all to 1/32 scale. A few tempo in there and some artillery. So I was able to finish the paint job on this exploding Mark's house. So I think that'll go well. And this outpost. So I finished the paint job on that, as well as adding the floor. I changed the base coat of this to come a little bit closer to that. Again, it's not a perfect match, but I'm not sure exactly what color paint that is, and I'm not good at painting to begin with, let alone trying to match paint colors. So, but I was able to match the sandbags, so we are a little closer than what it originally looked like. I think it looks good. Next, I'm going to start working on putting a little camo on these pieces. I'm going to break out the airbrush for a little bit. I want them to look something like this one here. So I'm going to do that to all the German artillery. And I got some decals from BMC. I'm going to be adding those to both the American and German vehicles. And I did come across this camo netting that I have. I'm trying to think of making some type of bunker. Maybe like an ammo bunker or something like that for the Americans to keep all their stuff covered. I'm just not sure what route to go, but we're looking good. This has been probably a week's worth of putting stuff together. So for my British Army, I went with Rust-Oleum Camouflage Flat Sand. Now for my German Africa Corps, I went with the Krylon Camouflage Khaki. And for my U.S. troops, I went with the Rust-Oleum Flat Brown. Okay, so what you're looking at here is my completed playset of what I'm calling the Battle of Kasserine Pass. I made up a playset contents paper to put in the box. You can see I painted all the figures to match. You are looking at Airfix. We have Airfix British, Airfix Germans. We have Marks mixed in there, some reissue Mark stuff. CTS is in there, as well as Revell, Matchbox, Tempo, and yeah, a lot of different companies. This is a bag of Marks reissue accessories. 2 of the Marks houses, BMC flags, a lot of CTS and vehicles, some reissue Marks. I put in a Pegasus craters. I thought that would go good in the desert, as well as this TSSD Troy tank, and of course the large Oasis piece. Pretty sure that's a CTS original. And of course we have the Airfix Desert Outpost, which is the main building of this whole set. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up. I'm still waiting for one more piece a 3D item that I ordered. Should be in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on setting this up. I'd like to know how you guys set your stuff up when you're doing a diorama like this. Again, these are just 2 folding tables with the sand colored cloth over it. Like to take some pictures. I get motivated by guys like Joe Baker and other guys in the toy soldier community. So, but let me know how you go about setting your stuff up. I guess I usually start with the biggest piece and then set up the vehicles and then start setting up the soldiers are the last thing. But yeah, let's as a plastic general would say, let's go to war. Okay, so let me just show you what I've started with. Of course, I started off with the easy stuff, the big tanks. Placed them where I thought they would be. My thought process here was the Brits are coming in from the left, and the Americans are coming in from the right. Now, the Americans, they have all the howitzers and the artillery. They've been firing that off for a while. We got 3-man crews at each one of these cannons. The tanks just took off. They already lost 1 tank here earlier. And the Germans, well, they're still behind their barbed wire. They're at their oasis, and they've been firing their cannons all day as well. Again, we have 3-man cannon crews on these 3 here, and the 3 on the backside. So they got 6 88s. And this is the Desert Oasis. They're hanging on to that strong point. Again, they got the barbed wire set up. I just realized I'm missing sandbags. I need to go into my supply. There's all these Brits up here on the front line with the heavy guns. They're not undercover anywhere, so we got to get them some sandbag emplacements up there. But that's how I started this off, and we're going to see how this goes. Of course, I got a lot more soldiers to set up. You got all the Germans here left in the middle. Again, the Americans were dark brown, and the Brits are the lighter tan. Gonna need to get some air support in here pretty soon. Now, the one piece that I'm still waiting for, I saved room for it right here. What it is a canopy cover that I had made, and it's gonna be the ammo dump. Okay, so the whole objective here is to either destroy, capture the ammo dump in this scenario. The Brits, they occupy the larger building here. That is their headquarters. They've already taken 1 prisoner. And for Americans, I think they drew the short straw here. They got 2 destroyed buildings, but not much cover. And even their cannons aren't undercover. So we're going to see how this plays out. The Panzers are moving on this side, while the Tiger is coming right up the middle. Okay, so I took a look at my stash of backup equipment, and the only sandbags I have left are these BMC ones. So they're going to have to do, pull out a couple of them and help the Brits out here on the front line. All right, folks, so here's where we are. The Americans are advancing. I pulled up all my, what I call shooter guys, guys that are drawing weapons or throwing grenades. They're all up on the front line. Of course, we still have the cannon crew back here doing their thing. Still waiting on my canopy. Even when that comes in, I'm still going to have to work on it, so it's probably not going to make it to this video. I did set up the sandbags. I removed the crater. I didn't think it really fit in, and it took up a lot of space. So instead, I went with 3 of my palm trees, embankments, I guess, just to give it a little depth. And I think that looks a little better. Doesn't take up as much space. I can fit more soldiers out there. So things are moving along here. The Brits have moved up. Got this one flamethrower guy up here. I'm not sure what he's doing by himself, but and we've pulled all the shooter guys, if you will, for the Germans up on the front line. They're up to the barbed wire now. Of course, the cannons are still firing away back here in the background. And we've put some people up in the Oasis. So Tiger tank is not moving any further than the barbed wire area. But the Brits are finally coming out of their tents and moving forward. Now, what do I have left to put out? Really, it's just all the non-shooter guys. You can see I took out the crater here. So these are all the figures that I have that are running or standing, or as a plastic general would say, they're doers, man. They're doing stuff. This guy's checking for landmines. So these are all my doers from both sides. So that's the final thing I got to add to this. And then we should be ready for some still photos. And then pack it all up and start on another playset build. I really like to thank Jerry Hagberg for motivating me to put this up. He posted a video on his channel, Toy Soldier Nostalgia. Make sure you check it out. It is from Sweden, and he's going to be on my live stream show in the very near future. We've talked already. Also, a shout out to Bill Molyneux from Bill's Wargaming World. He's always doing wargaming. I've never got into wargaming, but we're both into 54 millimeter, which is what this is. So I take some things from his show, and I'm sure he takes some ideas from my show. So also Lance, I wanted to thank you. Shankster, Lance Shankster was on my live stream show, and he's always putting stuff up. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he's always putting stuff up on the Facebook channels. So he's also motivated me to finally do this. Again, I've been collecting, and I never set stuff up. So this is probably one of the first setups I've done in a long time. So hope you guys are enjoying this. And I'm just going to finish this video by putting up all my doers and taking a couple more videos for you guys and some still photos. Again, thanks for watching. Keep on collecting.